Domestic violence is unlike any other law in Ohio in that there is something called a preferred arrest policy. For any other crime from disorderly conduct to murder, officers have discretion when investigating a case to look at it and make a decision whether or not to arrest somebody. In Ohio, there's a policy called preferred arrest, which means if the officers are investigating a case which they believe to be a domestic incident, it is preferred that they make an arrest. They don't have to make an arrest, but it's preferred. Unfortunately, many officers interpret this to mean that in a domestic situation, somebody has to go to jail every time. Now let's take a look at what domestic violence actually is. Domestic violence is cause or attempt to cause physical harm to a family or household member. That could be a spouse, that could be a person living as a spouse, such as a girlfriend or boyfriend. That could be children or other family members who are living together in a home, even brother and sister or two brothers. That's what makes it different from the normal offense of assault or menacing, the family or household member relationship. So if the officers go to a situation characterized as domestic, the first thing they're going to do is try and make an assessment of what happened. They're going to talk to both parties. The problem with the preferred arrest law is that if both parties say they don't want anyone arrested and they don't think anything serious happened, the officers in many instances will still make an arrest. Now, domestic violence is different from other laws in a couple other ways. First of all, many cities have a bond schedule for misdemeanors. Domestic violence is a first-degree misdemeanor. And most cities have a bond schedule where a person arrested for a misdemeanor can post bond immediately without having to go in front of a judge. For domestic violence, in many places, it is not on the bond schedule, meaning they require the person to stay in jail until they can be put in front of a judge and a bond can be set. So a person arrested on a Friday or Saturday may have to wait till Monday to have a chance to post bond and get out of jail. Domestic violence is also what's known as an enhanceable offense. So if a person is arrested for it a second time, the second offense is actually a felony that they could go to prison for. There are also a few other ramifications for domestic violence. A person convicted of domestic violence cannot own or possess a firearm. This would prevent them from working in any employment that would require the use of a gun, or hunting, or even having one in their home to protect themselves. Another thing that comes up with domestic violence is the use of protection orders. When a person is arrested for domestic violence, when they appear in court, there is a protective order which could bar them from having any contact with the victim in that case. It could also prevent them from going to their home, if that's where the victim lives, or having any contact with their children, changing utilities, emptying bank accounts, anything like that. Many times courts will issue these orders even if the victim is not requesting them. So there are some very serious consequences for domestic violence, and if you are charged with that, it is important that you contact an attorney as soon as possible to discuss your case and your rights.